Hello and welcome to another edition of e-commerce Odyssey. I'm here with Norbert from SyncSpider. Norbert is one of our friends from Austria. Norbert,
Hello.
tell us about SyncSpider. What does it do?
Thanks so much for being here. This is really great. I love your show. There we go, I'd say, yeah.
So tell us about where do you get tell us about what SyncSpider is and how you got the idea.
Absolutely. So, well, I am in e-commerce since around about 15 years now. And we found out actually that there is a big gap when it comes to integrations. This is why, together with my team, we decided to found SyncSpider, which is actually a universal e-commerce middleware. So with SyncSpider, it's like Zapier, but for e-commerce.
Okay.
So you can connect a lot of different e-commerce solutions with each other, but we go really deep. So we cover all the facets of products like attributes, variants, orders, customers. So everything you need somehow in e-commerce to be connected, different tools. This is doable with SyncSpider, and it's doable via a backend. We have a mapping engine, and we can make all those connections, integrations, mappings, your own or with the work of your agency or your IT administrator. So you can do it your own, and you don't need a developer to get things connected.
So I'm guessing that, the likes of Zapier, if this then that, they don't do some of the integrations you do, or they don't do them quite as well, or
well, they actually have a lot of the integrations as well. But the thing is, Zapier is a very great tool if you have simple tasks like sending a contact from A to B, or making an action based on a trigger. Yeah, so you have a trigger, and this trigger makes something happen on the other side. So you're connecting two tools, and trigger A does something on B, maybe on C or on D. So you have flows. That's true. But in e-commerce, there is more you need to consider. For instance, variation products. Yeah, nearly every store owner has some kind of variation products. For a variation product, you need to know the attribute, the values of the attribute, how the pricing is done for the different variants that you have. And this is something that Zapier does not do. Yeah, okay. So they do not go so deep into e-commerce because it's not their core business. And also, and this is, I think, the most important part. We are not just trigger based. In e-commerce, you have so many bulk actions you need to perform, like sending 1,000 products from A to B, and that as a bulk action.
Or doing what? So doing like a process to update your prices once a day, or something?
Yeah, something like that. Or you get a new prices from your supplier once a month. Yeah. In Zapier, you could not do this because it's event based. It's one by one. You pick row 1 from your Excel and you send it to the product, and you pick row 2 from the Excel and you send it to your store, and so on. And for SyncSpider, we pick the 1,000 items that you have in your file, and we send it in bulk to your e-commerce store and to Amazon and to eBay and to Zalando and wherever you sell.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have done,
because I would have thought also in terms of this, I mean, I'm guessing that your system is a kind of a business critical part of the process.
Yeah.
Right. So, because I mean, is it that, because I'd like to think if I was, a system like yours, I could ring up and get a hold of you and you'd sort it out if it wasn't working. Is that a kind of because you can't do that with Zapier. I'm guessing you can't get them on the phone.
Yeah, so we have plans for that, of course. So it's of course a different approach than before. We have those smaller customers that are in the SaaS application right within SyncSpider, and they have chat support, so they can always chat with an agent 24/7 and ask for help. The bigger customers, of course, can even call us. So we have the phone numbers on the website. So we even provide phone support. We provide integration support. So for those customers who do not want to map themselves out all the things, we have an integration service. So they can hire us for integrating tools with each other, existing ones, new ones, where we plan out the process together with the customer, set everything up. And of course, this is a very interesting fact for store owners, because they seldom have time to do that themselves, or they do not even have the interest to do it themselves. They know that they should do it, because they will save a lot of time and a
Yeah.
lot of mistakes, human mistakes. Yeah, if you still copy paste your orders from the web shop to your ERP software to do the fulfillment, then you do something wrong, because first of all, you can have a human mistake, yeah, for copy pasting. On the other hand, you need 5, 6, 7 minutes to create an order in
Yeah,
your
I don't know. It's
ERP.
not, you
Yeah.
don't need to convince me.
I don't think that it's a process that should be done manually.
Well, I think it brings me out. It brings me out, as we say, in a cold sweat.
Yeah.
It's a bad. So what
You
are
see
the?
it every day. You see it every day. So
Well, I think that a lot of. I mean, even big systems like Amazon, a lot of it is basically held together with sticky tape.
yeah,
As you
sure,
say, it
absolutely.
is
Yeah.
a lot of businesses are a lot less a lot less automated than they make out.
Well, the systems are all prepared for automation, which is great. I recently talked to a customer, a bigger one. They have an Amazon vendor agreement, so they have several. So they are a brand. And they're releasing their products on Amazon. And of course, they have different warehouses. They have different fulfillment types, like fulfilled by Amazon, fulfilled by the merchant. So different type of fulfillment involved there as well. And they have several hundred orders a day. So, and of course, this needs to be automated. There is not even another way. Even if there is freight by merchant and they need to ship it, they need to have the order within a few minutes after the order is placed and paid. They need to have it in a warehouse because they want to fulfill it really on the same day if possible,
Yeah.
maximum on the next day. So they need everything in time fast, and there is not even a chance to not automate this.
So what are the main integrations that, I mean, what are the most popular integrations or most popular platforms that people want to splice together using your system?
Well, we have a lot of people working with Shopify, with Magento, and with WooCommerce. But we also cover the, let's say, 10, 11 major e-commerce solutions. So also PrestaShop, Lightspeed, HQ, Acquid. So these major stores are one part. Then on the other hand, we have the marketplaces like Amazon and eBay, and even local marketplaces like Shopping in Austria, yeah, or Ricardo. Then we have the file part of ThinkSpider that is, I think, even the most important one, because we can cover literally every kind of file type that you can get or send, like CSV, TXT, XML, and even REST API. So you can actually really connect nearly everything. Yeah, not all. There are still very, very old systems outside that need some really specific way for an integration, but most of the systems at least support file-based imports and exports. So I don't know if you still know the ERP software called AS400 from IBM.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah,
it's up there with Fortran and
it's really, really, really old. Yeah, so I think 40 years plus, something like that. Really old, still in use, especially in enterprise companies. And we even connected an AS400 instance for a customer.
Really? Yeah, that must have been a challenge.
Not even that. It was actually quite easy. With ThinkSpider, you have the possibility to download a Windows software as well. On top of the SaaS, we have also Windows software. And with the Windows software, we can connect to any database. So any Microsoft, Oracle, Firebase, what else, database via ODBC. And from there, we can get the data and upload it to our cloud. And from there, we transfer it. So this is really even one of the, of course, hard, because AS400 is so old that the structure within is grown and very big and enormous data that you need to work with. But on the other hand, the concept is still the same that we have now in modern ERP software. We're just connecting with the database instead of an API, and that works as well. So it's nearly everything that you can connect is somehow possible. Some needs a bit more technical help from our team or needs an integration service. But a lot of things that we have integrated can really be managed by the shop owner or the agency or the IT administrator themselves.
So do you find that, is it that, that people have, because obviously with these days, you've got plugins for Magento, you particularly got plugins for Shopify. Is it that the plugins don't exist for these particular services into Shopify, or they just...
Yeah. So coming with this over 15-year background in e-commerce, and we did a lot of web shops for customers before we even started building SyncSpider. So I started actually as a digital agency building web shops for clients. We worked with Magento, we worked with Shopify, we worked with eCommerce for our customers, and I think my team built around 250 web stores so far for customers. And actually, what we did before we started with SyncSpider is to use these plugins, to use a plugin for Amazon integration, a plugin for eBay integration, a plugin for the ERP integration, a plugin for MailChimp integration, a plugin for this, and a plugin for that. And actually, and every web shop owner knows this, adding plugins to your store is like, the game Jenga?
Yes.
Yeah, the tower with the block.
Yes.
And adding a plugin to an existing CMS system is like pulling out a block from the Jenga tower.
Right.
And putting it on the top. And you do this several times, and you put in a plugin and a plugin and a plugin. And at some point, the CMS goes down or the shop goes down, and you need to start.
So it collapses under the weight of its own configuration.
Absolutely. So plugins are great, but especially in terms of integration, you would need a plugin for every kind of integration. And you have already a lot of different plugins involved for the other features that you have, like a product filter or a special coupon module, or what else? A page builder. Huh? And if you add, again, for everything, single thing you want to implement another plugin, you are risking that your system goes down. And there are even more downsides of adding plugins, namely the performance. Your web shop is actually built to sell, so performance is critical. And if you add additional layers to your CMS that also needs to perform actions like managing products on other channels, or transferring data from A to B, and this is all handled through your system, you need much more resources, or you slow down your store. And this is also a downside. And the next part is you always need to rely on a third party. There are so many upgrades. So especially when we look at Amazon, best example. A few years ago, everyone integrated with MWS Amazon API. This is the API, and still there, the way to connect to Amazon. I think 2 years ago, they released, or even longer, but at least 2 years ago, they started to say, okay, please use the SP API. It's a completely new API of Amazon. Start using it. And last year, they started to remove MWS access for orders from some of the integrations that they already have. They started removing it step by step because they said, we want you to use SP API. You need to do, you're forced to. And the smaller integrations, we were also affected by that, have been taken down from getting orders via MWS because they just don't want developers to use it anymore. So we needed to develop that completely again with SP API. And it's done step by step. So the next step is that the products will go down with MVS. The next step is that this and that will go down, and they will just have SP API. So, and this is not just Amazon; it's for every single tool. They are also always improving their APIs and their tools and changing APIs. That means the plugin provider that you have chosen for, let's say, integrating with Amazon or integrating with eBay might not be able to create the integration newly because the plugin has not been sold enough or not grown enough, and they simply don't start to do it again, and then the plugin is simply worthless if they do not upgrade it to the new API version or the new shopping cart version.
So by using your system, they can keep on top of these things better.
Sure. The reason why is easy. As a SaaS application, we do not rely on one specific store or one specific marketplace. Our business model is to cover the most important ones of them. I would love to say all, but it's nearly impossible.
Not going to happen.
500, 600, 700 marketplaces and 200 shopping cart solutions and several thousand ERP software. But the most common ones we cover, and the rest is covered via individual integrations that are possible via the backend or via file-based things. So this is one thing. And of course, we need to maintain these integrations because this actually is the business model. So we do not rely on just serving Magento 1 with Amazon. We connect to Magento 1 because it's a core integration. Still to Magento 1, I think we're rarely the ones who have still a Magento 1. But let's say Magento 2, so we have a Magento 2 integration, and we maintain this integration, and we do not care how people are using it. If they export products from Magento, then they export products. If they send it to Amazon, then they send it to Amazon. If they send it to eBay, they send it to eBay. If they want to just get the orders and get it to a shipping center, they can do it in our backend. So we connect once via the API. We even extend the API a bit for most of the systems because to get a bit more deeper actions. But it's one part. And people can set up their different kind of business logic with one backend. So the entire performance thing is on our end, and the users, the shopping cart owners, do not need to take care.
Okay. So what kind of future integrations what's in your roadmap?
Oh wow, so many.
Well, what's the most exciting? What's the most? I don't know.
The most exciting.
Most exciting.
Yeah, the most exciting feature that we're gonna release in the next couple of weeks is called SyncSpider Data Hub. So this will be an add-on for SyncSpider, which is a universal database. So you can create your own data hub within SyncSpider. You define yourself which kind of tables and columns you might have. So imagine a spreadsheet. You define the names of the columns that you need. You define which type of data it is. Is it a name? Is it a price? Is it a number? Is it an image? And so you can easily aggregate data from different channels into one central database. In other words, you can name it product information management system or data info management system, or you can call it big data. There is a place in SyncSpider where you can aggregate all your data, or you can use it for backups. We use it mostly to manipulate data. So we often have the situation that the source data coming from any other channel, let's say an ERP, is not good enough to be on Amazon or on eBay. And you do not have the fields in the ERP to extend the data, to append the data, to enrich the data. And you do not want to do this in Amazon or in eBay because it's simply for the UI part not that great. And you're not fast enough. And then you create a data hub. We did this always with a Google Sheet in between. So we got the data from the source, we put it to a Google Sheet, we extended the data in the Google Sheet, and from there we sent it to the target, Amazon, eBay, shopping cart, what else. And this will be solved using the data hub in the future.
Okay. So what problems do you think that e-commerce merchants have that your system could fix? That what are the most common problems that you see and you just think, that we've got a solution for that?
Most of the problems that I see is getting product data from ERP to the shopping cart.
Right.
This is one of the things. Shipping data from the different channels to the shipping center or to the ERP software.
To courier.
Yeah. So this is the step 2. Tracking data. A lot of users that using a local shipping software do not get the tracking data automatically back to orders, which is manual process that can be avoided. And in general, I think processes in general. So a lot of e-commerce store owners and even agencies do not have a concept on what they could automate, on how they really could make their lives much easier. Yeah, it's often starting with just a small call where it turns out that the shop owner just wants to get products imported somewhere from a supplier, and it ends up in a Miro board that we are sketching up together, where we point out all the actions that the shop provider could take to make their lives easier. And there's really a lot that can be automated if they just think about that.
Because I find, I mean, from my point of view, I just think we either automate something or we don't do it. That's pretty much what happens. Because
yeah,
I mean, I'm of the opinion that if you've got a, you know, you normally have a simple solution and a complicated solution, right? And the complicated solution being basically doing it manually. And I've been doing this so long. I've been doing it like 15 years, like you. And I just think, I look at something and I think that's going to be a pain, and therefore I'm not going to be able to keep it up. And therefore, let's just go for the simple solution, you know, the simple but possibly imperfect solution, or the perfect complicated solution. You're not going to be able to keep. You're not going to be able to keep up the complicated solution. Let's just try and do it the easy way and accept that that is how we're going to do it. Because you know, I find that with you know, if it's not, it's like with us, we use something called Linworks. If there's no integration available, it's so difficult. You know, you can't be creating orders by hand because you just, you know, you add in errors, you add in problems, someone forgets to do something, and the margins for error in these things are so low.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's a dog barking in the background. Sorry.
The
margins for error are so low that, you know, like on Amazon, you need to keep your order defect rate below 1%. You know, that's one order in 100. It's not very much to get wrong, is it? So.
And this is exactly the use case where let's say SyncSpider or something like that can jump in, because Linworks, as you said, they have a bunch of integrations, and they do not cover side marketplaces. Like if you would want to sell on shopping in Austria, for instance, because you have a specific product that would make sense, you can make several hundred of orders, and you do not do it because you cannot automate it. It doesn't make sense. And with something like SyncSpider, you say, okay, the connection is there for shopping. It's via Linworks. It can be done via API. So we can make an easy integration with Linworks. And then you can start listing the products on marketplaces that Linworks doesn't have yet.
Get incremental sales. I love an incremental sale.
And that's the fun part of it. That you can start testing new channels fast and easy. And this was also something that we discussed in SyncSpider. We always said to the customers, you can save time, you can save money. What we didn't consider is you can actually grow fast.
Yes.
This is what changed everything in SyncSpider, even in the communication. Because we said our focus should not be to save money or to save time. Our focus should be to help people grow their business. Every automation that you do will give you the time to invest your time into growing your business.
Yeah, because I find that because you do get these, you know, any system like, you know, be it like Linworks, the one I know, but other systems like, for example, you know, Channel Advisor or Vico, they Vico even they you know, you take on the system and you grow quite fast because you can use their new integrations, right? But then the system gets to the point where it holds you back because you've kind of run out of integrations to use.
Yeah. And
I mean, particularly with something like Linworks, there are plugins available, but they're of a variable quality. Yeah. So some of them are quite rubbish. So it's you know, I think it's always good, you know, if there's like a second way of integrating something, it just gives you more options.
Yeah.
So look, I've got a question for you, right? The way I see it is that you know, e-commerce is becoming more standardized, right? Yeah. And it's standardizing around around Shopify, amongst other things. Right now, is it that we're going to be in a situation where everything's going to be so perfectly integrated in in an unspecified point in the future that we're just not going to need you because everything's going to work so perfectly?
Well, this is a very good question, actually. I hope so.
Oh, that's very generous of you.
Yeah,
That's very
I hope
generous.
so, but it will not happen. It will not happen. It will not
I
happen.
don't think it's going to happen.
I'll give you a reason why. There have been so many tries already to do this. Yeah, there is the EDI project. Yeah, EDI is exchanging accounting data, especially products accounting data in a specific format that is always the same. So it's EDI. Then there is another project in Germany, DATEV, or BMECAT. They tried BMECAT for accounting, BMECAT for products, data for accounting data. So they are all trying somehow to get a standardized format, and nobody's keeping and holding that because there's so many different situations and quality of data that the people are maintaining, that there is always an exception of an exception of an exception.
Yeah.
And I never had a case that is entirely the same so far.
There's so many, I mean, for example, accounting systems. I mean, there's so many accounting systems. There's so many e-commerce management systems. And the problem with, I find with these, taking systems like Amazon and eBay, they're always, as you say, they're always changing their systems. So you're always catching up, and they themselves are wildly imperfect. They're like, Amazon likes to have this kind of, front of this perfect system. But I think if you scratch away at it, it's just all held together with sticky tape. And it's just like, for example, we were using FBA, and we'd find that random products would appear in our FBA inventory. I don't know where these came from. They were just assigning products to our FBA inventory. I mean, it's like, I refer to it as the Amazon deep state. There's what goes on the surface, and then there's it's like an iceberg underneath, and you just don't know. They don't know what goes on either. They've no idea how it works. If you talk to an Amazon person, no one has any idea.
And this is the main problem. I think that it never will come to a universal kind of integration, or it's at least not that fast.
Well, I think also, quite frankly, if everything was perfect, right, everyone would just buy. Everyone would be able to find the cheapest price immediately, and that would be like there'd be one big shop called Amazon Plus or something, which would just sell
metaverse.
There'd be one everyone would buy from the same shop, because they'd be able to find the exact price, that they'd be able to immediately find the best price. Everything would be delivered perfectly, right? And so therefore they wouldn't need you, right? Because everything would work perfectly.
Yeah.
They wouldn't need my retail company, because everyone would just, they'd get it from this one mega shop. And therefore I think if the business opportunities are at, we should be happy that things don't work.
Look, we have roundabout the coverage of, let's say, 30% of vendors that are currently selling online or on marketplaces. 30-35% max. So we still have a huge volume of vendors going online, selling online, shipping the goods. And this is what we're going to see in the next couple of months and years, that this is growing. There is a study. I don't remember the source concrete anymore, but it was a very huge one, a big data analyst, and they made a study and said in 2040, 95% of all purchases that happen will be done in a digital way. That doesn't mean that everything is online, but it does mean that there is a digital way. You go into a physical store, you pick your good, and you do not have people collecting the money from you. You take the good and you pay it via credit card while you leave the store, or something like this. So and everything is, if this is all in a digital way, all of this needs to be integrated into management systems, ERP systems, accounting systems. And this needs to be done. So this market will dramatically grow. And I'm not talking just about our business at SyncSpider. We know that integrations will grow. I'm talking about any kind of store owner or vendor that is trying to go online or trying to digitalize the processes or automate the processes. This is something that they need in future, because of course, the more digitalization we have, the more down the margins go.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, I think it's I see you right. I see more integrations as opposed to less. It's just going to become more complicated.
Yeah.
So what do you see? What exciting, obviously you've seen a lot of integrations. You obviously contact a lot of different companies. What innovations in e-commerce have you seen recently, which you thought were exciting?
Oh, for Shopify, the new version that came out. This is something that I really say good work. They did a lot in performance. What is really great for the store owners. I've seen innovations, AI, texting AI, which is coming out and getting even better and better. So you can have an AI copywriter writing your product descriptions and your next advertising posts.
That I would like to see.
Yeah, very interesting approach. I've tested out a few. They are not yet that good that I say wow, but they are coming very in a very interesting way. Where you have, especially when you have the same kind of products and you have to have different descriptions for every product. That is very useful to rewrite text automatically via AI. Also, what I've seen and what I really found very cool. It's not so very innovative in that way that it's so new, but it's getting better and better. These automated video posts for advertising products, where you get the products via a feed to the video creation software, and it's automatically creating the video ads for you and automatically posting it on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. And you have your ads out there, and you do not need to have designers creating every ad manually. So these are things I think that are really great.
So there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, and a lot of configurators are coming up. So we get more and more requests for configurators. Configure that. So you go in and you have I don't know, you build a garden and you want to build a fence around it. Then you have a fence configurator. So you can build up everything for your fence, and the doors and the color and the height and the width and whatever you need. And you configure that, and you get a price at the end, and you do not need to go to the market and get a person to explain you which kind of fence you need and show you a printed catalog. You go into a store and you configure that, and you see everything you need, and click on order, put in your credit card, and 2 or 3 weeks later your fence is at the door.
An automated shop assistant.
Yeah. Shopping.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Automated shop assistant. And I think this is something that that helps the entire business. You're much faster in calculating that, giving a price. You do not need personal resources. Of course, yes, the physical contact and bringing people to a local and physical store will go down. Yeah, we cannot really influence that. It will happen anyway. That the people are more and more on a digital way. But on the other hand, those people who maybe would lose their job as a salesman within a physical store, they have the chance to be in a new position at growing the business, at helping in marketing, at preparing the product descriptions, managing the store, being in the warehouse, picking and packing, doing chat support, phone support. There's so many possibilities where these positions can be rearranged. And I think
that we'll just there's going to be a lot of change, but I think that there's still going to be work for people to do.
Yeah, there's enough to do.
Definitely. So, like, last question. I think you talked about what inspired you in e-commerce. What has inspired you outside e-commerce?
Outside e-commerce?
Yeah. What's inspired you the most? It's an open question. It could be anything.
Well, marketing.
Marketing.
Yeah, marketing. I love marketing. Actually, this is where I come from with the smart age of 14 years. My father had actually I'm in e-commerce much longer. Yeah, I'm 40 years now, and with 14 years, my father is I don't know the right English word, but he did not have a web shop, of course, 25 years ago. So there was printed catalogs, and they were sent to schools, and the schools ordered by phone, and this products. And what I did with 14 years was I did in the summer holidays of school. I was trained to build a catalog. Yeah. So I was
Sounds
in
like a good job for a 14-year-old.
Yeah, it was great. It was really fun. It was great, and I had a 2-week training on how to use Quark Express and Photoshop, and I built the catalog during the rest of the summer. Earned some money, what's good, and yeah, I fell in love with marketing because it's so great. You take the pictures, you arrange the presentation. Later on, I learned, of course, how to market that, how to make a print ad, and so on. And this is really what's inspiring me. I really love to see. I'm a person that doesn't switch to the next channel on TV when the ads come. I watch the ads as well. I'm learning from that. Yeah, I'm learning from that. I love that.
Norbert, it's been great talking to you. You're a great guest.
Thank you very much.
We can catch up again in the future.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Talk soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.